Hi, this is Vanshika Chauhan and I am working as a legal intern with Lexis & Company, and today I'll be talking about the daughter's right on property. So under this we'll be majorly discussing three things. First is the Hindu Succession Act of 1956. Second is the 2005 amendment of the act and what major changes the amendment brought about. Third is the case of Vinita Sharma versus Rakesh Sharma, which proved to be a landmark judgment in this case. So the Hindu Succession Act is applicable to Buddhists, Hindus, Sikhs and Jains. And it talks about two kinds of properties, ancestral property and self-acquired property. Now if a person A has a self-acquired property and his family consists of his wife, his son, his grandson, his great-grandson, then all these people are the members of the family, but the co-partners will only be the lineal descendants of the ancestors, which means that the son, the great-grandson or the grandson, all these people will be co-partners and not the wife and the daughter of the person A. Before 2005 amendment, the Hindu Succession Act said that the co-partnership rights will go to only those who will be the lineal descendants of the ancestors, which meant that only the male lineage, because it's the same bloodline. Now the daughters, widows, wives would not qualify as co-partners or did not get the co-partnership rights, and this was the major problem of the Hindu Succession Act. Section 6 of the Act talked about the survivorship rule, which said that a person who acquired self-acquired property or a person who acquired some property, then the co-partners would be his son, his grandson, his great-grandson and so on. So the main criticism with this was that only the males were supposed to be co-partners and the females did not get any co-partnership rights. If a person dies with a will, then he can decide for himself, or the will states that such part of the property will go to the person A, or such part will go to the son, or such part will go to the wife. But this is only in the case of self-acquired property. Ancestral property is to be governed by the Hindu Succession Act. And before the amendment of 2005, the survivorship rule was in place, but 2005 amendment removed the survivorship rule and it brought two major things. First is the testamentary succession, wherein when a person dies and makes a will and then dies, then according to the will, the property is divided between whosoever person it is mentioned about in the will, and there was no problem with that with this concept. Second one is the interstate succession, wherein a person dies without a will. So in this case, there were four classes which were mentioned in the Amendment Act. Class 1 consisted of the son, daughter and widow. So if a person dies interstate, then the ancestral property would be divided according to the class 1 classification, and all of these three people would get equal rights over the property and they would be co-partners with equal rights among them. Now this 2005 amendment abrogated the survivorship rule and introduced the new concept of interstate succession, and also said that daughters have co-partnership rights. Further, it said that the daughters have co-partnership rights since birth, and secondly it also said that like sons, daughters have equal liability with respect to that property. Now this amendment had brought a solution itself, but it had some problems of its own. So the enforcement date for the amendment was 9th September 2005, but the major problem that arose was the question that whether as on this date the father is supposed to be alive or not, meaning that if a father dies in 2002 and the law is enforced in 2005, then the daughter can still get the right of co-partnership or not. Three cases tried to answer this question. The very first case was the case of Prakash versus Phulvati, which was a 2016 case. It was a two-judges bench wherein the Supreme Court said that the father has to be alive and living co-partnership and living daughter will only get the right. Secondly, another case came in 2018. It was Dhanamma versus Amar. It was also two-judges bench wherein the Supreme Court said that if the father had died in 2001, means father is not living as on 9 September 2005, then also the right shall be passed on to the daughter and she'll have the co-partnership right. So these two were conflicting judgments. Therefore, in 2020, in the case of Vinita Sharma versus Rakesh Sharma, a three-judges bench was constituted, and the Supreme Court simply said that, solving the confusion, the Supreme Court simply said that the woman's right in case of ancestral property is similar to that of the sons, which is by birth, and the father is alive or not does not affect the right of the daughter. That is all for the video for daughters' right on property. Thank you.